I'm Maria Menounos, and you're tuned in to AfterBuzz TV, the ESPN of TV talk. Now, let the buzz begin.
And it's take two. Hi, everybody. Welcome to AfterBuzz TV's Dishin Days, where we give you a full dish of this week's episodes of NBC's Emmy Award #1 hit soap opera, Days of Our Lives. I'm your host, Tony Moore, reporting from home with my gaggle of gals. We have the lumberjack himself.
Hey, y'all. It's Michael Mattes.
And of course, she has
Chelsie Overocker here.
And dazzling us in green, we have...
Hi, everyone. Tami Goveia.
And if you guys haven't already, make sure you like us and follow us on all social media platforms. We are Dishin Days on Facebook and Instagram, and _Dishin Days on the Twitter. In quarantine, the @ is still and always implied. If you're watching us live, thank you so much. We appreciate you. If you're listening to us on Apple Podcasts, make sure you like us and follow us and comment and give us 5 stars. That way, we know we're still doing a great job 5 years later. And if you are a lover of all soaps, make sure you tune in to Restless Wrap, which is the recap for Young and the Restless, and GH Report, which is the recap for General Hospital. Bold and the Beautiful, the Bold Breakdown, is on hiatus. It's in quarantine. So tune in, we all come back out of our houses. And that has been your church announcements. What did you guys think of this week's episodes of Days? Oh, I'm sorry. Before we get into that, coming up later in the show, we have the very beautiful and talented Miss Victoria Konefal will be joining us live from her home to give us all the sinful moments that we have been waiting for. All right, now, what did you guys think of this week's episodes of Days?
It was good.
Yeah?
I liked it. Yeah, I thought the pacing was really good.
See, I thought the pacing was slow, especially with the Demira storyline. Like it just felt like it dragged on a bit. But the saving grace for that storyline was the shade that everyone was throwing at each other the entire time in every scene. Like no one was safe from some shade in those scenes. But yeah, everyone's mentioning the shower scene. Of course, that was definitely a highlight.
Of course. I thought everything with the Demiras were like, that was the highlight of the week for me. So, yeah. Because of all the like breaking news and all that kind of stuff, I just watch it on demand. But for some reason, on demand didn't have one of the episodes, so I went to NBC.com to watch it. And for some odd reason, it skipped Thursday because I was like watching it back to back, and somehow I watched Friday before Thursday.
Oh.
Me too.
Yeah. Oh, that happened to you too.
It happened to me too. Yeah. I was like, I'm confused.
Well, but for some reason, I was just like, I still followed along and I was like, oh, that's quite a jump. Like, whatever. Like, I thought it was days. Like, sometimes some things happen with a phone call and we're moving on. But then I went back and watched Thursday just to make sure I didn't miss anything. So there was that. So,
yeah, I think with the Mara plot, I think Friday was the best day of it. Thursday, it's okay if you guys missed that episode. For me personally, I thought that day was kind of slow. But yeah, overall, great week. I love that we're finally picking up the pace with some of these plots. And yes, of course, shower scene. That was also really fun too.
Oh, the shower scene was like, it was everything.
It really was.
It was so good. But we're going to talk about it. Let's break it all down. It's now time to start Dishin
Days.
Oh, this is where we're supposed to have the hourglass, and I keep meaning to bring like the little...
Oh, Chelsie has her water bottle. That can work.
We'll take the water bottle. All right, let's get into all this Demira stuff because like they were kind of dominating this week with a lot of stuff that was happening. So it ended and started with the return of Abigail coming back, and Kate and Gabby, of course, were out on the floor. They, of course, are now, were locked up in the secret room, which for 2 seconds I was like, oh, are we gonna do this whole secret room thing again? Like, I don't know if I want to just sit and watch two people trapped again. And by now, y'all should know how to get out of the secret room.
I liked the clever like dialogue between Abigail and Chad, because she's like, "What are you doing? Hiding a couple ladies?" And he's like, "Yeah, two of them." And she's like, "Ah!" Meanwhile, Gabby and Kate are over like 2 feet away, just like out like a Family Guy character that got hit on the head. And I thought, and yeah, I didn't know how long the secret room thing was gonna go on.
Yeah.
Luckily, there's still some champagne down there for Kate to snack on, or whatever you want to say. But luckily that only lasted like 1 or 2 episodes.
I love everything with
overkill.
secret room involvement, but like you said, Michael, I wasn't sure. It's like, I'm fine with the secret room as long as it's not going to get drawn out for 3 weeks.
Yeah.
So I'm glad that they just kind of wrapped that up really quick, and my heart sank when all that champagne went to waste. I was
Because you know it's
right
Demirs,
there
that's
with
good
Kate
champagne.
What
That's
are
not like
you
that's not like what
doing?
you find in my refrigerator. That's like Moet Chandon or whatever. It's not the
Chandon.
$5.99 Andre that I get from CVS.
Oh God.
In a box.
But I think now we are gonna have Kate and Gabby team up again. I think they are on the same side, and they both want to take down Chad. And they were even convincing Abigail, like, "Hey, look, he is brainwashed." So I think going forward, we're gonna see more of Gabby and Kate, which I'm a fan of.
Yeah, always have been.
I like the fact that Kate kind of broke down to Gabby that this had happened once before when Chad went after Belle, and that the key word is La Familia. So I guess you guys were right. The ring does have something to do with it as well, along with the drugging that Stefano is doing. So all of that combined with the trigger word of La Familia has Chad like in this
Hypnotized or something.
Zombie state.
Yeah.
He's so like stone cold whenever he's like in that, like there's no expression. It's almost
Right.
like, you know, they're poisoning him with like Botox, and he like his face just expression at all. So it's really interesting, like how Billy is playing that. But the whole like rat thing that he was
Got a couple of rats down there.
and then Abigail's all like, "Ew, rats. Mice I can deal with, but rats, they're gross. They bring diseases. We got to get an exterminator down there." And he's like, "I'll call." And I'm like, first of all, you just know the exterminator's number by heart? Like, I couldn't call Terminex if I wanted.
No, I mean, he would Google it. He would be like Exterminator Salem, and then find him.
And there's only one. Probably.
I don't think I didn't take that as like he had one on call or anything.
No, but he literally just took the phone like, "Okay, I'll call now." And I'm like, "Who are you calling? You don't know." Like, what you?
Well, he could have been faking Abigail out then. I don't know.
He had been. But
I just love that whole exchange where it's like, "Yeah, I got a couple of girls," and then it comes back to, "Yeah, there's a couple of rats. I'll take care of them." I'm like,
Yeah,
yeah.
And then he goes down there to the secret room, and like is basically about to shoot them, but then gets a call from Stefano that says, "No, don't do it." And that was
right, because Marlena, even in her, I'm not sure what exactly they did to her, but she seems to really be kind of in this purgatory state where she's not fully brainwashed, but she's just enough brainwashed to.
It's kind of like a Twilight.
Yeah, because she was really adamant that like
in both worlds.
It was just interesting how she, you know, she seems to be drawn to Stefano, but at the same time, she's still like, if anything happens to my friend Kate or Gabby, nothing's happening here. So she still has like the Marlena conscience, I guess. But it's just weird. Like I'm curious about what exactly was done, because it's not like a Stefano or Princess Gina where she's completely different personality. She's still Marlena. She just seems to be like in a fog.
Yeah, there's certain trigger points too throughout this week that she'll pull back and like say, "Okay, this isn't right. What am I doing?" She keeps questioning herself, and then all of a sudden she flips the switch, and then now she's back under Stefano's control. So interesting.
I think she's kind
And
of in and out. Like she's aware, but also the brainwashing part is a little overpowering, but she's still aware of like John and her love for John, but she's like, well, this seems fine. So she's kind of like teetering,
Mm-hmm.
I think.
And while that's going on, Kate still had that letter and figured out the whole thing, that Chad was brainwashed and La Familia was the trigger word, like you said, because of what happened before. She figured that out rather quickly. So then when Chad came in, she was trying to like undo it, and then she reads the letter and says La Familia, and Gabby's like, WTF, like what are you trying to do? But then he ended up getting the call, and Kate and Gabby were spared, but he still kept them locked down there.
I really liked seeing the DiMera family together. I feel like it's been a while since we've seen them all on screen.
Yeah.
But it's very interesting, the take on it. It was great to see, Tony and Anna back on the campus. But to have like Tony, Kristen, Chad, and Steveno all together, mainly Tony and Kristen looking like, what the hell is going on?
Tony and Kristen were not having it. They were like, this shiz is crazy. But they went along with it because they were forced to,
And Michael, what did you say it was, that moment?
Oh, my favorite moment was when Kristen pulled a Cher via a la Moonstruck, smacked the shiz out of Chad, and was like, snap out of it.
So great. Oh my God, that was so great. Like I played that over and over again a little while.
It was a great, because I was like, she's like, I think I can handle this. I was like, she gonna hit him? She gonna hit him? Whack.
Yeah.
Sometimes you just need to smack a bitch. I don't know, but to get him to snap out of it. But it didn't work, because then he turned around and started choking her. So
well,
didn't quite work.
Kristen was my favorite part of the whole thing, because she just kept looking at what was happening, and she was just like, is this? I don't.
And of all people to if Kristen thinks it's nuts, that's saying something.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like even new Kristen, old Kristen, whatever.
Yeah.
Like when Kristen is like, this is crazy.
This is whacked.
Yeah.
And it's pretty whacked.
And meanwhile, sorry, go ahead, Chelsea.
Oh, no, I was gonna say, and even she's even telling Marlena, like, you don't have to do this. You can back down.
Yeah.
So
she's actually trying to be Marlena's savior.
Yeah.
Agreed.
So meanwhile, while all that's happening, back at John and Marlena's house, everybody tries to come help. Brady shows up. Hope gets out of the hospital. Kayla comes with her. So then John has his little posse of help to try to figure out where Marlena is.
But if it wasn't for Hope remembering, which I totally forgot this, and like...
Yeah, I didn't remember that either. I thought it was like a manufactured flashback, but I think it really happened.
No, because I remember him saying that he was rebuilding Maison Blanche, and I was like, but I think it's something that we all went, and then we didn't think about.
Right. It was a nugget that was dropped, and now it's being revisited.
Yeah, which I thought was genius, but I love the fact that Hope was able to kind of remember that, and John was almost yelling at her like, come on, and Kayla was like, what time?
Back off!
It's Gina. But I'm glad that she was able to give that, but then he was like, yeah, no, y'all can't come. Y'all stay here. But then I'm also like, how does no one in Salem realize that this big old construction thing is happening on the other side?
I feel like
I don't know what's happening on the other side of LA, and it's like 2 miles down the road.
But this is LA. Like I feel like Salem is a little smaller, and it's only comprised of a Brady, a Horton, a Kyriakis, or a Hernandez, or a Carver.
Yeah, pretty much.
Well, I mean, okay, like that makes sense. You would think that they would realize like an exact replica of Maison Blanche. You think someone would see that, and be like, a copy of Maison Blanche is going up. Maybe we should look into this. But they had doppelgangers and people in comas, so I guess they were just distracted.
Maybe, I don't know. But I think we mentioned this last week. Like I was just kind of like not into everyone being a robot. Like I'm glad Gina, Hope is no longer Gina, but then we have Hope that's brainwashed. We have Chad that's brainwashed. We have Stephen O that's, and I'm just like, will the real?
Can we keep it real?
Well, everyone just keep it real, please. Yeah.
Yeah, but the wedding, the Stephen O. Marlena wedding was the most awkward wedding I have ever seen.
Yeah, like everything about it just.
Yeah.
You expect something to go down at a Salem wedding, but this one was just like, can something happen, or can this just be wrapped up? And then right before the wedding, Marlena had that whole inner thought of seeing John, and hearing John say, "Don't do it," which, it's like the whole, their love and bond is so strong, and that, it's overpowering. But even in the wedding, Chad, who's officiating,
That was so weird.
It was just like so many things about it was like, huh?
Yeah.
Huh?
Well, Tony wanted to do something. He's like, yeah, I actually have something to say about this. And Kristen's like, no, you don't.
Kristen's like, girl, just drop it.
Well, when Tony was like, I have something to say about it, and Chad reached for the gun, he was like, oh, no. Kristen was like, no, he's fine. We'll let this happen.
So do we think that this is actually, because John received the notarized divorce papers, and they keep saying like, oh, it's an invalid divorce, you didn't sign it, and they keep saying like, oh, well, Stefano has his ways. Like, do we think this is going to be somehow legit?
No.
Or,
no,
I can't think. I'm like, no, this isn't legit. They're going through with it, but there's no, it can't be for real.
No.
Right.
Because there's no way that, well, John has to sign it, and then it has to be filed, and
it's an invalid divorce. Yeah.
So it's like the whole wedding is invalid. That's probably why it was so.
Well, and then they kept saying that the only reason Stefano was doing this was to consummate the relationship with Marlena.
You mean to tell me?
I'm like, so what? Like, what? He just wants to sleep with her? Like, that's what he's after? Like.
But you're going.
I was confused by that.
You're going through decades of this just to have relations with Marlena? Like, that's a lot.
I think he's wanted this scenario forever, meaning he's wanted Marlena all to himself. He's wanted to be married to her. He's wanted to consummate the relationship. He's wanted it all. And so he's serving it. He's serving the entire plate that he's always wanted.
Yeah.
I don't think it's all about the, sleeping with her thing. It's everything.
We're looking at the whole picture of it.
Yeah, her coming to him willingly.
Is it willingly? Because she's
quotation marks.
Yeah. No.
She's possessed again. This time not by the devil.
But luckily, like, everybody came, and like John, while Chad was trying to choke Kristen, Brady came in, and then, well, right before Stephen and Marlena were getting their thing on, John came in. So I have a feeling this is gonna be ended next week.
Yeah.
I'm hoping at least.
Too long though. Like, you walk in, he was just like, and I was
like, where's your reaction?
Huh?
Like, I was like, where's the reaction?
The reaction was him just standing there, basically telling us, tune in next week.
Yeah. Yeah.
The next scene will be him yanking Stephen O off of her.
Mm-hmm.
That'll be the.
Listen, that better be a good yank. It better be like a thrown across the other room kind of a thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
John Black has it in him. He'll do it.
Yeah.
All right. That's basically what happened with the Damaras, right?
Yeah, I think we covered all the little odds and ends. Yeah.
Yeah. I will say it was a great scene seeing the Damara women. So Anna, Abigail, and Gabby all there. That was a really, like, I liked that scene, and then I liked how they were cutting to the Damara family scene. I was like, this is all Damaras. I actually like this because we haven't, it's just been so long since I felt like the Demiras were strong. And
they've all been kind of doing their own separate stuff, and yeah.
But there's it was just back in the day, it was just a better sense of like this strong deviant family, and right now
family camaraderie,
yeah. So
and I'm liking the spotlight on the Demira women. You know, Anna kind of spearheading everything, trying to convince Abigail. You know, the app that
she found out where they were. She's like, oh, I installed the app on his phone, and Gabby was like, it has to be turned on.
Aware of it.
And Abigail was like, you would know. Like the shade between those women, like it was so subtle, because like Kate was talking about Tony, and she's like, Tony's the sane one, and then she kind of glances at Anna and is like, in most respects. And I was like, oh, subtle, but I got it.
Yeah.
Hey.
Patrick in our chat room said the Demira wives, housewives of Demira. I would
Real Housewives of Demira.
Yeah. Housewives of Salem.
Oh, the Real Housewives of Salem.
That should be a dual app. Dual people.
Yeah.
When you get back into production.
There you go.
Oh, that would be a good. Can you imagine like the Real House, like a take on the Real Housewives, but it's all the Salem people, and it's like their recap of that week. Oh, that would be hilarious. And like the fights that they could get into. Oh, I'd watch that.
The taglines, yeah.
You could be the Andy Cohen, Tony.
Oh, yes, I can host the reunion.
And Michael and I and Chelsea will be behind the bar.
We'll be the bartenders, yeah.
Getting the drinks, having our wine.
I love.
I'm doing more drinking than bartending, but
I know, I'm supposed to be working.
I really think the app would just like hire us to come up with content because we're amazing.
My God.
I mean, we are.
Let's move on to the next storyline, which is Nicole, Eric, Sarah, Xander, Brady, and Kristen and Abe. So first off, Xander was able to Nicole did the test to check to see if Mickey was Brady and Kristen's.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Got the test results back, and it came back that it was in fact Sarah and Eric's baby. However, we know that Xander paid the guy to switch the test. Now,
and I'm like, why are you doing this again? You just did this with somebody who did not stay away, so you're just gonna turn around and do it all again, just throwing more money away.
This is true. However, he almost, and listen, I love Xander with all of me, but he came across as annoying this week when he went back to the guy that was just like, I just want to. I think
you gave him the money, leave him alone.
I would have looked at him like, bitch, I'm taking it to my grave. Have a good day.
Yeah. I don't ever want to see you again.
Right. Like, go away. Bye. I did my work. Like, I have other stuff to deal with now. Don't be coming over here threatening me.
Yeah. And I was disappointed that the result, because the results came back that Kristen wasn't Mackenzie's mother.
Right.
Those were the results. And so I'm like, oh, is there like another layer to this that we're getting? And it's like, no, Xander just changed it.
Yeah.
Like, okay, that was a little frustrating to me. I'm hoping for another layer of this storyline other than a simple like Xander switched the babies and is trying to hide it. But we didn't get that. Of course, maybe that would be too much. I don't know. Depends on where it would go. But I was hoping.
I just want the story. I want the story tied up. Like I'm done.
Yeah. Well, then Nicole went and. And I understand that Abe and Nicole have this kind of daughter-father relationship because of his relationship with her mom years ago. Like they're friends, and she just blabbed the whole thing to him, and I'm like, oh, okay, like that was confusing to me. But I guess like there's a trust there, and she felt she could tell him. But I'm wondering if Abe's gonna be the one to like
slip up,
blow it up. Yeah.
I'm just kind of worried that it's her that's bringing it, like, that it's her that knows this, because Nicole doesn't need anything else to get in between of her and Eric. And Eric was like, she'd never keep a secret from me. And I'm like,
oh yeah.
Go again.
Yeah.
Can
we just see the Can we just give a shout out to Marnie because of the casting of that lab guy was brilliant.
Nerdy lab guy. Yeah.
Oh my God.
Spot on.
He
Yeah.
was
Some
perfect.
wimpy little, yeah.
He was perfect.
It was good. Chelsea, what do you think?
Oh yeah, I was gonna say I like the fact that we have more people with this secret. It's just not all on Nicole. I like how Abe is now involved in it because I think it's gonna give him more of a bigger plot. And I think I like how Abe was guiding Nicole, saying, "Hey, Xander's on to you. Think you're just going to, be fine. He knows that you're really suspicious. So hold back being Nancy Drew." Of course, that didn't stop Nicole.
I like that line.
Abe was able to give her that guidance. So I think it's going to get very interesting. And like you said, Michael, I hope we get more of a layer added onto it.
Yeah.
I really hope that Summer is involved in this whole thing.
That could be interesting.
I don't want it to be all on Maggie.
That's right, because Maggie was preparing to go to
jail. Yeah.
Which I feel like Sonny had a completely different take on Maggie this week, because when he first found out it was Maggie, he went off on her, and then he was a little more loving.
He was a little more softer on her this week.
Yeah. I think
maybe it was because
a little bit.
Maybe it's because he now knows that she's doing what she feels is the right thing and turning herself in. Maybe he's going easy on her because of that, but definitely definitely night and day.
Yeah.
Tammy, what were you gonna say? Tammy, what were you gonna say?
I don't remember.
Oh. But now Nicole, I feel like, has devised another plan to kind of get Xander off her trail. And it's basically I'm gonna leave it alone, the tests, whatever.
She's not.
No, she's
making him believe. False sense of security is what she's trying to.
Yeah. I really hope it doesn't cost her Eric again, because we all know Eric is barely forgiving.
Well, I don't think the only thing I can rationalize her not saying anything to Eric right now is because she needs proof. She just can't go to say, I think this is what's happening. So that's why she's not saying anything right now. Right. Once she's got proof, she better best immediately tell Eric and not waste any time.
Even though Eric turned back into a butthead this week.
I told him shut up.
Sarah took the words right out of my mouth, because they were both going. She's like, "What did I just say? Shut up."
The whole thing about not liking Xander, at some point you just have to get over it, because now they're married. So let's just leave it alone.
And he keeps bringing up the diamonds. It's that's not we want to forget about the diamonds. Bring up.
How long ago? Come on.
5 years ago, 4 years ago.
Annoying. Yeah.
Well, that would make it 6 years in Salem time.
Wow. All right. Well. Oh, and baby Mickey gets to go home. So that's good. And then,
so baby Mickey is going home with Sarah, right?
Yes.
Yes. Sarah and Xander.
But I also like the moment that Sarah had with Kristen, because Kristen was as she was looking at baby Mickey, and then how Sarah kind of told her, hey, maybe these are some things that you can do. Here at the hospital we have where mothers can't hold their kids. We have people come in and do that. Maybe you can do that. And Brady was like, yeah, we were just talking about how we wanted to do something, and they were going to do a foundation in honor of their daughter. So I like that touching moment, but I like those moments because it shows the human side and vulnerability of Kristen. So that was a good moment.
Yeah.
All right, so that's that. Moving on to Evan, Christian, Orpheus, Sonny, Rafe, Eli, and Lonnie. First of all, Eli and Lonnie hiding out in Horton Town Square behind a tree for hours.
Yeah, that was funny. They're like, is he gonna do anything? He's just been stuck here forever.
Just watching him have coffee.
Yeah.
It's no, he knows he's being followed, so he's being extremely careful. But let's talk about y'all sitting out in Horton Town Square for hours watching him, and nobody in Horton Town Square realizes this.
It's Salem. They didn't realize again that Kristen was Kristen walking through just with a ponytail. So I'm to the point now where I think that, but then I'm just like, it's Salem, let it go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I feel like they kind of wrapped this up quicker than I was expecting.
Yeah.
So Rafe talked to Sonny about going to talk to Evan Christian, which, Sonny had this, great talk with him that made him kind of rethink what was happening. And he led Rafe, Lonnie, and Eli to baby David. But there has to be more. Like that, this can't be it. There has to be more to this. But I also, for some reason, I don't want Evan Christian to lose his kid because that's his kid.
I think he feels like if he is going to work with Rafe, Lonnie, Eli, that he's still able to be a part of David's life. But we'll see, because I, like you, Tony, I don't think this is the end of it. This isn't the end with Orpheus and his connection with Evan Christian. And who knows, they could be planning this too. Maybe we never really saw a conversation between them before Rafe came in. So maybe they're planning this too. I don't know, just to give up so quickly.
I don't know. There's something else. I don't know what it is, but there's some other layer to this story because there seems like there's just more. Like something else is going to happen.
Probably.
And it has to do with that fever that David has.
Oh.
Please don't have another kid be sick. We just got one. Have all these babies in Salem sick.
I know.
Well,
is it bad for me to feel a little sorry for Orpheus? Because they're giving him a lot of really precious moments, like when he was playing hide and seek with David.
Yeah.
I was like,
I
don't want to like you, but there's been a lot of really good moments, even between him and Evan Christian, like the father-son moments. They're really humanizing him this go around.
Yeah, and I don't think that, because Sonny tried to make it seem like Orpheus is just looking out for Orpheus, but like I feel like when it comes to your family, when it comes to your own flesh and blood, like you're gonna make sure that they're taken care of more than you, which is why because Orpheus could have said the kid will be fine, but he like put himself in jeopardy by going to the hospital to try to get medicine for him.
Yeah.
Well, I guess that's a little bit of selfishness because you should have just took him to the hospital.
Yeah.
So there's that. Side note, while I'm thinking about this, shout out to my mom who is probably watching and who has become who told me yesterday, I was like, oh, I have to watch the episodes. And she was like, oh, it's getting good. And I was like, I'll be sure to watch it, Mom. So it's so funny that she's now hooked on Days of Our Lives that now I'm curious to know what her thoughts are about this. But I have to wait until she learns the characters because she's like, I don't know who they are, but it's getting good.
Yeah.
Shout out to my mom. All right, and that was it with that storyline, right?
Yeah.
All right, so now we have a little bit of business brought to you by Chelsie Overocker. Take it away.
Yes, well, we just want to thank you guys for still hanging out with us every Sunday, especially during this crazy time. That being said, we just want to thank you for making AfterBuzz TV the ESPN of TV talk. In order to help us grow, please subscribe to our YouTube channel, leave us a comment on the Apple Podcast, and give us a rating. 5 stars, please. We just really want to thank Kevin and Maria and the whole AfterBuzz staff for still promoting this. We're able to do remote recordings with you guys. We love engaging with you guys, being a part of the fans, and doing what we love. Also, make sure to wash your hands. Just got to get through this crazy time. And let's just spray and pray, you all. Spray
keep yourselves clean, everybody.
Yeah, keep
your distance and keep clean.
Yes. Well, this announcement brought to you by the folks here at AfterBuzz TV. All right.
So we have 241 people in the chat.
How many?
241.
Oh, yes. The challenge.
Yeah.
All right. Well, they're just in time because now we're in our tidbits and now it's time to talk about some sin.
AKA do not disturb.
So
Don't disturb this room.
if the room is rocking, don't come a knocking.
Tony.
I mean, look, we all saw how that room was rocking. Let me tell you, the first thing I thought was, who built this shower? Because the shower actually looks really good. Like,
Yeah,
I kind of want,
that was a nice shower.
yeah. And then with the steam and then I was curious. I was like, "Ooh, what body wash is that?" Like, there's a lot of
Product placement.
this whole thing. Well, I thought it was product placement, but they like it was just like generic. They were like, go get a bottle of body wash. And they were like, okay, no. But I thought I thought the whole reunion of Ben and Ciara was great. I loved when she was at the police station and she was talking to Justin and he was explaining how everything was, and then he popped up behind her and was like, they let me go. And it was like, ooh, yay. So I love that moment, them just reuniting and getting to Horton Town Square only to go get locked back up again. Oh, one of the things that that Ben said was when they were in the room, they were like, oh, do you want to like take a shower? And he'd be like, oh, it'd be nice to take a shower without an audience. And I was like, well, where was the ticket to that show? Because I would have been.
Well, what did he say? Are there 19 tattooed convicts in there?
Yeah, that was the thing. There's like, no, I think we're good. But listen, it's going to get steaming hot every time how's that song go? They play their song, it goes, the way your light kisses your eyes. Like, yes, we have sin. That was a good shower scene. So we could check that off our list.
Yeah.
And I love that scene where they're standing out in the hallway outside the room.
Yeah.
And they both tell each other how nervous they are.
Yeah, because it's been like probably we didn't hear nothing about conjugal visits or anything. So it'd probably been like a year and some since they have been, together in a biblical sense.
Together.
I totally got that moment. It's like, oh my God, of course. It's such a human way of like, yeah, you're gonna get a little nervous and excited. And it's like,
I know. I was nervous for them too.
I got nervous when she took that razor. I was like, I don't let no one else shave me I was like, don't cut a bitch now. Be careful.
I got nervous because he didn't get the full like shave, and then they started kissing, and I'm like, you still realize he got shaving cream. That's toxic. That's gonna get in your mouth.
Yeah.
But
you're overthinking things, Tony.
I'm with Tony. I was just all about that. I'm like, you need to finish shaving before you start, going in and clean yourself up, because the shaving cream does not taste good. And, just clean yourself up, finish shaving and then go at it.
Listen, and went at it they did, because that shower scene was real steamy. It was done very technically. They showed the parts that we wanted to see. Kudos to the shower scene. Yes. I live for the shower scene, but we'll talk more about that. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Because we got questions. All right, we kind of touched on this already with Will, Sonny, Maggie, Victor, and Justin. Just the fact that, Maggie is now going to jail. They all had very touching moments with Maggie. I, for some reason, can't see Maggie going to jail. I know that she did it, but I'm also kind of like, you're going to send Maggie Kyriakis to jail?
Yeah. There'll be something that they'll like either go easy on her, or something will come out about the accident before she gets actually to jail.
Right.
Or she'll be just out on bail or it'll be like she'll go to jail, or she'll get, what's the term, arraigned or whatever. Victor will bail her out and she'll be out on bail during the trial. And then by the time the trial comes around, something new will come out that makes her not as guilty.
Yeah.
There's your outline.
There you go.
Done. Have it.
From the writer's room. Thank you, Michael Mattes.
There you go. Yeah, the
I will say I kind of giggled at Will because Will was like me. He walked into the Kiriakis living room and there was a fine spread of breakfast. And he was all about it. He was like, oh, let me get this, let me get this. And I was like, yes, Will, get it all. Get one for me too. I kind of chuckled at that. But that was all right, and now Roman and Hattie.
I'm bummed. Hattie's leaving.
I know, I
Yeah.
loved her.
Yeah.
Deidre needs a break.
Say what?
I said Deidre needed a break. She's been playing 2 characters it's been months now, right? So.
But I was actually liking the idea of just having Hattie live in Salem. And I was actually liking the idea of Hattie and Roman together.
I
Like,
really thought Roman was going to come around. I
I
thought maybe he was starting to have feelings for her.
It
yeah,
was looking that way.
Yeah.
it was. And then it wasn't. But
Yeah.
I'm glad that Hattie was just like, you know what? I've had enough of this. I'm about to go because I don't deserve this. But I was like, no, Hattie, don't go. Like, people in Salem. I would have rather she stayed in Salem, but that's just
Me too.
So no
She'll
Roman
be
and
back.
yeah, let's hope so. All right. That was it, right?
That's it.
All right.
That's it.
Well, everyone, that was your week of days, and it's now time for our favorite part of the show, which are our segments, and it's time for mine, which is Tony's official 3 Snaps Award. No snap, no snap. All right. So, first off, I have to give my 3 Snaps Award. Hold on, I have to pull it up because I actually wrote it down, and I usually don't write my 3 snaps down. But I have to give it to the Damaras. And this is why. It is a long laundry list of things. Like when I was trying to figure out who to give the snap to, I just had to give it to them collectively. And this is why. Because of the ladies of Damaras. Abby shading Gabby about the app. The most awkward wedding. Tony saying, please wake me up from this nightmare. Marlena tossing the bouquet to Kristen and being like, I hope you and Brady can find the love that I found with your father. And then she's looking happy about going on to this honeymoon. Kristen was the one that really did not want to be there. She was like, what is happening? I don't want to be here. What do I need these flowers for? The side eye that Chad gave Tony and Kristen when Tony mentioned that the flower, the Queen of the Night flower, withers and dies when it comes to daylight. And Chad was like, I was like, oh, and then Kristen slapping Chad. So all of that had me just snapping. And I was like, this goes to the Damaras. So all of y'all, Damaras, Teo Pinglis, Stacey Hydu, Billy Flynn, all y'all Damaras. Y'all get Tony's official, because I was gonna name all. All right, and now it's time for. That's it.
So this week it's going to go to Miss Lindsay Godfrey. Poor little Sarah just wanted to go home with her baby. She just wanted to go home with the baby. And she was looking adorable. She is wearing a plaid crop Ponte tank top and a Ponte high waist kick flare pants. Both of them are by the clothing line called Leith. That's Leith. Miss Lindsay Godfrey, you get this week's Designer Days.
Designer Days. Oh, wait. Hold on a minute.
What?
Jane Austen in our chat said, please get new Designer Days music. We will not. Moving on.
It's classic.
It's very classic. Jane, how about this? How about you send us new music? All right.
Yeah, caption that.
All right. Michael Mattis.
Yeah, so my caption that picture goes to some of the Demira women. Excuse me, I keep wanting to say Gabby, Abigail, and Anna, and their reaction to Kristen coming in. And this week's, there we go, with Anna looking very Anna-like, just like, oh Lord, like you can really caption it really this bitch, but being more a little creative. Rick and Rick on Instagram, Rick Cope, with his caption, and you're telling me there isn't one roll of toilet paper in this whole Demira mansion? That's his caption. And that was this week's caption that.
We'll take that. All right, and now it's time for
Caption that.
Well, now it's time for
All right. All moment, you guys could probably guess, it does go out to my sinners this week. I loved it when it was Ben and Ciara. They're right outside the hotel room. And then Ciara says, both of our hearts are kind of going crazy. Then, you know what? I think that's a good thing. And well, I think it's a great thing because my heartbeat was just beating so fast. So, Sen, you get my all moment of the week.
Someone in the chat room just reminded me about the EJ and Abigail shower scene.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I was gonna say if there's another
Good.
That was a good one too. And then of course we have to give a little shout out to Me World too for his oh shiz moment of the week, which I will retweet in just a second. So Me World, thank you again for giving us that. And now it's time for some news and gossip. AfterBuzz TV news.
All right, just one quick note, in case you missed it last week. Our Dishin Days quintennial event has been rescheduled for the weekend of October 10th and 11th. Brock Kelly, Eric Martzoff, Kate Manzi, Scott Shillstone, Stacey Hayduke, and Paul Tefler have all reconfirmed for the new dates, still taking place here at the Burbank Airport Marriott. Ticket sales will resume in April, so keep an eye out for that. You can follow at Spectrum Celeb on Twitter or visit spectrumcelebrityevents.com for the latest updates. But yeah, ticket sales will go back on sale sometime in April. And yeah, we have to wait a few months, but it'll still be a good time.
Yes, it's going to be amazing. And I think, again, there's still something in the works that I can't say what it is, but it's going to be good. So make sure you get your tickets now.
Get your tickets.
Get your tickets. All right. So before we bring in Victoria, who is in our room now, we're going to show you what's coming up on next week's episodes of Days of Our Lives. Michael, roll that beautiful blue footage.
I'm here. Am I here?
You are here. Well,
Victoria.
Hello, everyone.
Hey, girl.
Hold on, Victoria. We're gonna show the preview to next week, and then we're gonna chit chat with you because we got a lot to talk about.
Okay. Yes, we do. Let me just sip my tea in the meantime.
Oh, me too, girl. Go ahead,
Your
Michael.
Brady pub
Hang on,
glass.
I'm
I'm
trying.
obsessed with that. Oh my God.
Your heart choose the man that you want to spend the rest of your life with.
Yes. There's a lot of loving going on.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, okay. So basically, everybody gonna be doing it. So kudos to that.
It's springtime. This is the time of year where everybody's,
Love is
everyone's been
spring
cooped
air.
up, especially now. Everyone's a little randy, so.
Well, all right, all you sinners. We now have in our chat, broadcasting live from home, Miss Victoria Konefal.
Thank y'all. Thank you very much.
Thank you, man. How are you doing?
I'm good. I'm hanging in there. Today was actually the first day in like 5 days where I woke up early and I felt motivated and full of energy. Like I feel like recently we've all just been like psychologically, it's so interesting what happens. Like we're all in trauma mode right now because of everything that's going on, regardless of whether we're aware of it or not. So like our bodies are just naturally doing things that we're unaware of, like being more fatigued and sleeping more. So yeah, I'm just like, you know, hanging in there. How are you guys?
Listen,
Hanging in
alive
there.
and thriving. We're here, we're doing the show as usual. Fans are loving it. The chat room is going crazy that you are in the house right now. So like that they are like loving it.
And two, there, I've actually had some feedback from folks who aren't soap opera fans and who have never watched Days, but because everyone's home now, what's on TV but the soap operas?
Right.
And so they checked into Days of Our Lives and they're loving it. They're like, oh my God.
Right.
And it's so funny.
Welcome aboard, y'all. Welcome.
Yeah.
A crazy train.
My husband's coworker said, I haven't watched Days in like 10 years. She goes, it's so familiar and it feels so good right now to have that kind of familiarity with everything that's going on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I imagine it. It's like a safety net.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was just telling the gang that my mom, who like for many years went to a lot of the Days events with me, but never watched the show, just recently started watching the show, and she keeps telling me how good it is every week. So shout out again to my mom, who also
Mama.
She just texted me and said, I'm watching you right now. Thank you for the shout out. Tell everyone I said
hi, Mama. How are you?
All right, so Miss Victoria, let's get into it. Let's go ahead and like get this conversation out of the way.
Whatever.
He knows what's coming. Yeah.
We don't have to talk about the shower scene because we saw it last week in the preview and we was like, ooh, and it was just as good this week. So everyone has questions about it. So first of all, how was it filming this? Because I feel like there has to be like some talks and like, ooh, we're gonna go this way, and you know, what was the process like?
So with scenes that are intimate in that way, the director, whoever's directing that day, will always have a chat with us prior to it and explain it to us. Obviously, you know, we're told that it's going to be very tasteful, and we're only going to go as far as both of us are comfortable with. So we have a little chat and we go through each movement, I guess, very carefully so that we don't mess up or put our hands where they're not supposed to be. Like, it's a very delicate, you know, choreographed thing. And so, we ask for a closed set, obviously, which means that there are only the necessary people there. But even so, there's like 15, 16 people on set. And here we are, you know, Rob's in like this little man thong and I'm in a lady thong and like this little itty bitty thing covering my nipples. And like, it's just so uncomfortable. The water that's running is not hot, you know, so
that was going to be my question. Was it cold water or was it hot water?
Well, you know, it wasn't
like
hot. They tried. The water pressure was horrible. We were all soapy. Like, I had to take another shower when I got home because I was just sticky in the soap because got soapy together. But the water, they didn't give us freezing cold water because, you know, they wanted us to survive. But I don't know about y'all. I like my water the temperature of the devil's teardrops. Like, I don't settle for anything less than hot. So I was freezing the entire time, shivering, like trying to, you know, not shake in the middle of in the take. But it took a long time to film, about 45, 50 minutes, just because. And also, like, they filmed a lot more than what was shown. Like, I was surprised because I watched it over and I remember a lot. Like, there was a point where he like lifted me up and like there was a lot. There was a point where they like zoomed in onto my belly and he was like kissing my belly. You know that point in the
Yeah.
shot where Ben's head disappears and everyone was like, ooh.
Yeah.
He went to go kiss my belly button or something like that, and they ended up not putting that in. So I don't know. It was a lot. It was really uncomfortable. In between the takes, I remember using Rob as like a body shield. Like I would go behind him and be like, "Are they ready to film yet? Are they ready to film yet?" But it's cool. Rob and I talked about it beforehand, and we made sure that we were both, comfortable with it, because we had filmed lovemaking scenes before, but nothing that intimate. So it was really. I remember
who had the idea for the shaving?
That was the director's idea. It was in the script, or Ron. Ron wrote it, that Ciara starts to shave his face.
That was the part that was nerve-wracking for me to watch, because I'm like, don't be careful.
It was a real razor too.
Yeah.
I was like, if I touch your face, I'm sorry. I've never shaved a man before. Like, I don't know how to do this.
Everyone in the chat room is like, can we get the deleted scenes, please?
The extended cut. Yeah.
A separate outtake with just those scenes that we never saw. For
The
sure.
belly button kiss. Oh my God.
Okay, so who came up with the "we're gonna rub body wash over his abs" moment?
Also the writers.
Really?
Yes, it was all choreographed. And we did not ad lib anything. Usually Rob and I will add, like the I don't know what happened recently, but the nose boop, that was like a thing on Twitter where everyone was like, is the nose boop ad-libbed? I'm like, of course it's ad-libbed. It's me. I always love adding, sprinkles of my own stuff to it. But everything in the shower scene was choreographed. It was very meticulously placed, because it's a very dangerous scene to film. It's very easy for something to go awry, especially since we're slippery as hell. And,
kudos to y'all. Like, we're already in quarantine, and I'm pretty sure that scene came on when we was just like,
yeah,
we got to get out. Like,
it was hard to film. Like, it's also nerve-wracking, and as a woman, we already have these unrealistic standards of what we should look like. And I remember stressing for 2 weeks prior, oh my God, I have to be essentially butt naked in front of all these people, and it's going to be filmed. And thankfully they didn't show too much of my body. All the focus was on Rob. So I don't have that much to worry about. But yeah, it was just nerve-wracking. I woke up that morning and I wanted to throw up. It wasn't, it's not as glamorous as, because it's such a vulnerable thing. And I'm not used to it. Even though being on a soap, Rob and I have only filmed one lovemaking scene, and that was, very safe. We were covered the entire time. So this was very different, and it was extremely nerve-wracking. He was nervous as hell too the morning of. He was like, so, and I was like, yeah, this is weird, but all right, let's do it.
Well, it turned out amazingly. It made sense, especially with Ben's release and the love that Ciara and Ben have for each other. So it all looked great, but we knew it was about to go down when they start with feet and feet come in. We know it's about to get real lovely. So
right. It's a Tarantino moment, the feet shot, and then the.
So kudos to y'all on that. All right, so now that we got all that out of the way, my first question is, what were your thoughts when you were told about the time jump and where Ben was, and kind of the bits and pieces of them jumping forward? What were your initial thoughts, of Salem moving forward and Ben being in jail?
I was actually very excited. I didn't know what was going on, because it's not like we didn't get a memo saying, by the way, we're jumping a year ahead of time. We just got the scripts and kind of had to make sense of it. I was reading the scripts. I'm like, wait a second. When did he go to jail? Am I missing something? I called Holly and I was like, yo, did you guys forget to send me a script? What is happening? And then, you know, we all talked about it in the makeup room the day after. It was like high school gossip. And we were like, oh my gosh, what's happening with you? What's happening with you? And it was really fun. I really appreciate what the time jump did for Ciara's character.
Yeah.
I feel like after the time jump, she was finally able to like be a successful, independent woman. And up until that point, I feel like she was just living for Ben and not for herself. It was always like, oh, Ben, oh, sweetie. It was always, you know, the love scenes and her getting kidnapped and yada, yada. And I feel as though this was the first time, you know, Ciara was one of the up and coming stars of Titan industry. She was, you know, running around in a business suit, taking matters into her own hands, being the hero, dragging a man into, you know, the jail at gunpoint, being like, let my man go. You know, I feel like Ciara had always been the damsel in distress.
Yeah.
And it finally gave me a chance to showcase how badass Ciara truly is. And it got the fans to see what she's capable of. I mean, she's Bo Brady's daughter, for crying out loud. You know, she's not supposed to be the damsel in distress forever. So
Yeah.
I really love what happened with the time jump. I think that Ciara needed a moment to be the hero instead of always being saved. So
And here she was. Those were those scenes, what you just described, those 3 episodes of from the time she got Evan from the Kyriakis mansion all the way into the execution room were just like very beautifully acted and just very, very on point. Very on point.
I appreciate that.
What was it like filming those scenes? Because I said it on here. I was like, first of all, Victoria is strong as hell because she is slinging Brock everywhere in this execution. Like, I was like, we've had Brock on the show. He came to our meet and greet, and so we know how he is, and we've seen you, and it's like Victoria was in control. Like she was just like.
For sure. Yeah. I mean, it's funny because I was like hyping myself up right before we were filming. I was just doing push-ups on the ground because I needed my heart rate to be up and I needed my breath to, you know, be heavier. And I was physically doing a bunch of stuff right before we filmed. But yeah, I don't know. I think the adrenaline, I think I got so into those scenes that the adrenaline just took over for me because Brock's a big guy. Like he's a strong, muscular man. Okay. Yeah. And I work out, but like, I can't, you know, I don't know what happened. I think some
muscular man.
Yeah. I don't know. I think some force took over me. And it was actually really funny because I was telling Tony this before because he had jumped on my live a couple days ago, but the glass in between the execution room and the waiting room is made out of plexiglass, so it's very bendy. Yeah. And we had to film that scene a couple times because I just kept throwing Brock at it so hard that the reflection of it bouncing kept showing up on camera. And so the directors had to be like, okay, Victoria, chill, take it back a little bit. And I kept not being able to do it. So if you look closely, you can see the glass like wavering because I was just slamming the poor boy into it, not giving a, you know, any, you know, I didn't care at all about his safety, but we talked about it prior to, I'm like, you know, how comfortable are you with me pressing the gun to your head, pressing it to your neck? And he was just like, go for it. I want it to be as good and as intense as possible. So, you know, you can see like the skin, the gun mark on his neck afterwards too, if you look closely at it, because
he said
we were both really
on the show a couple weeks ago, and he said he had, I forgot, gun. I don't know if he called them gun burns, but like gun, yeah.
Yeah, he had like a little ring on it. I hope he's okay, Brock. If
oh no, he was fine.
I'm sorry.
He's totally fine. What was it like adding Brock to the Ciara Ben storyline and him, you know, being the son of Orpheus and the one that actually killed Jordan and the father of David? Like, how was that addition and working with him?
It was incredible working with him. He is an amazing actor. He's super talented. Yeah. And so I was really excited when I started reading that I was more involved with his character, because the whole thing that was driving Ciara through, you know, saving Ben, and the little grasp of hope that she was holding on to was the fact that Jordan's real killer is somewhere out there.
Yeah.
And so once Ciara found out that it was, you know, Brock's character, and what was his real name? Christian Maddox was his real name? Yeah. Christian Maddox. Once she figured it out, and once she saw him in the flesh, it was like absolute game time. Like, it's now or never. The needle is literally in my bae's arm. Like, you're coming with me, and there's nothing you're gonna do to stop me.
Yeah.
So it was interesting. He was a really intense driving force throughout the entire unraveling of the storyline. Had it not been him, then, you know, Ben would have gotten the needle, and Sin would be no more. So it's really, I'm really blessed to have had him on the show.
Yeah. And I just, it was all very interesting how everything was starting to unfold, because I mean, I think everyone else here, Tami, Michael, and Chelsea, all kind of figured out that Evan was the dad. I think I was the last one to I was like, no, no. Victor definitely has something to do with it. They've been doing everything else, whatever. So I like how the story was kind of unfolding, and how then quickly how everything had to like go suddenly, you know, with like the execution, and like we're all sitting here at this execution like, okay, there's the first one, they're starting to get into the second one, he's reminiscing about their entire relationship. There's no way they're about to kill Ben. Like it was really one of those like sitting in front of the TV like this kind of,
Right. Reading that script, I was sitting at the edge of my seat too, because we have no idea what happens. They don't, you know, call us and explain it to us. We get it script by script. So it's like we're watching the show with you guys when we read it, you know? So at the end, it was like Ben's eyes flutter and he, you know, is presumably dead. And I just didn't have another script. I was like, I remember texting Rob like, holy shit, are you gonna die? Like, this can't happen.
Oh, no.
Right? Like, I almost cried. I was like, no, you can't take him away from me. Not yet.
Oh gosh, no, people would have been up in arms, and people would have been like, where's Dr. Ralph with that needle? We need to
Right.
There would have been a civil revolution.
Oh my God. Yeah.
Oh, that was another kudos to the writers moment with when he flatlined and the guy had to rip open his shirt to give, and I was like, oh,
yeah,
that's a beautiful moment. Thank you.
Right.
It was a beautiful moment.
Right. They try to get that man shirtless as many times. Him and Paul Telfer are always naked. I'm like, okay, you know.
It's daytime.
Right.
Yeah.
You know.
He's not complaining.
So one thing
One
thing I read is that those scenes from all of those scenes with Evan and Ciara were shot in one day.
Yes, they were.
How well did you sleep that night?
Yeah.
So that day was the day that I actually found out that my father had passed away. So I didn't sleep at all that night. It was a really, really hard day because I remember coming back from work and then I got the phone call while I was on my way to get lunch. And then I had to go see my publicist's baby because she had just given birth to a baby. So it was a really chaotic day. And then I spent time with Olivia. And then I don't know if you guys know this, I've talked about it before. I memorize my lines the day before I film just because we get so much material and it's impossible for me personally to memorize so far in advance. So I had to memorize those 3 episodes that night as well. And it was really difficult, but I think that's also what helped me get into the scene. So like, I just, you know, like I was talking about before, like a force took over me, the adrenaline, like I got so into the plot and into the storyline because I couldn't possibly think about what I had just learned. You know, my life, I had received the most shocking news of my entire existence. And there was no way that I could possibly focus on that. So I poured myself into Ciara. I poured myself into Ben and Brock and that whole storyline. And yeah, I pushed through as much as I could have.
Did you find it cathartic on some level? Did you find it cathartic on some level? Thinking back?
Yeah, but I guess, but I couldn't, it's difficult for, I guess I could have used the emotions that I was feeling about the situation to help prompt me, but it wasn't organic and it wasn't natural because Ciara wasn't mourning the death of her father. She was, in a completely different mind state. She was pushing to save the love of her life. So it wasn't, I don't know. I guess you could say, yeah.
Well, kudos to you for, because that's all heavy, and to still be able to show up to work and deliver says a lot about you and your talents and your skills, and how you're able to just kind of sort through that to still give an amazing performance. So many kudos to you for doing that. Like, that's amazing.
Thank you. I
Many
appreciate
people would have been like, I gotta call out. I gotta go, but you did it. So, kudos to that. And I think we found out that day, someone posted that you had lost your father, that you had found out that you had lost your father that day those scenes were shot. And it was just like that puts a whole new thing in that. So many kudos to you. When I see you, I'm gonna give you a hug. I can only give you a virtual hug right now, but
Aw, thank you. Wash your hands first, but come here.
Especially Tony, his hands need washed.
I'm gonna use some of that body wash that y'all used in the shower scene. Get myself all good.
Right? Use that soap. I think it was Dove soap that we used. It smelled good. Cucumbers.
The soap's good. Nice and moisturizing.
That's why I always look so moisturized.
Right?
So for you, how do you feel like Ciara has evolved since the day she came back to Salem on the motorcycle up until now?
Yeah. So much. I mean, Ciara's evolved, and I feel as though I've evolved too. When I joined the show, I was like freshly 20 years old. Now I'm, almost 24. And that's when I feel like, I've always been more mature than other people my age just because of my upbringing. And I feel like growing up in Brooklyn had a lot to do with that. But I feel like those were the years where I really turned into a woman, and that's where you learn a lot of the heavy lessons in life, and you just transition from young lady to woman. And I feel like Ciara did the same thing. So Ciara and I were growing together. I feel like the biggest lesson that Ciara has learned is the lesson of forgiveness, because reflecting in the beginning, it was a lot of like her having little bitch fits with Claire and like, oh, the Theo's mine and and all this stuff that is so irrelevant in the grand scheme of things. And Ciara has learned, like, imagine if Ciara had, when Claire set Ciara on fire, imagine if that had happened when Ciara first came back to Salem. That would be a whole, shit show. I'm sorry. Am I allowed to curse? I don't know. I whatever. It would be, she would have taken it so poorly. She would have plotted, some crazy revenge scheme. And this time around, like once, yes, Ciara went through her anger, but once, Claire left and it was her last scene in the hospital saying goodbye, I think that Ciara handled it very gracefully and with forgiveness. And so she's just evolved into an understanding, mentally healthier young lady.
Yes. She's definitely, you can tell the growth of not only Ciara, the character, but you as well. And how like she did go from this like teenage, like all the pettiness and drama of that.
The bratty, like, ew, mom, I hate you. Like,
to this like grown woman who's like, I got to take care of business.
Absolutely.
Some fans have asked if you ever wanted to do scenes with, if it were possible, do scenes with Peter Reckell, who played Buck.
I would love to. I think that it would be monumental on the show, just because you know, Bo and Hope Brady were, you know, the super couple, and everyone is saying that Ben and Ciara are the new Bo and Hope. So like, I feel like Bo meeting Ben would be a huge moment. Like,
Oh my God.
like Bo would just be staring him down, like, you're not good enough for my daughter. And she'd be like, Daddy, I love him. And he'd be like, sir, I respect your daughter and I will do anything. Like, I can see the scene in my head. And like Ben would be shaking in his boots and Peter would just be like looking at him like, I really would love that. Honestly, like for them to have motorcycle rides together. I don't know, man. I think it would be incredible, but that's up to the writers. I don't know.
Yeah. How was it with Christian Alfonso as Gina? How were those scenes? Because let me tell you, I loved because Princess Gina could give two craps about Ciara and Sean.
Right.
And especially the ones in the hospital room where she was like, oh, you need a mint. And like,
right. My breath smells great. Like she created a bad rep for me. I'm always chewing on Altoids. No, Christian at that point while we were filming, she was over Princess Gina because she had been Princess Gina for so long. And she was like, I miss Hope.
Yeah.
I find it strange that Ciara was not more involved. In
that was a complaint of a lot of fans had, that there was no interaction with Hope and Ciara during that almost entire arc of Princess Gina. Like they like Ciara was over here, Princess Gina was over here, and there was no
like I didn't even know that she, you know, had pushed, you know, Jennifer.
Oh yeah, off the
balcony. Like Ciara, there was no moment of Ciara finding out that her mother did that. There was no grief or coming to terms with the fact that her mother might potentially be gone for the rest of her life. Like that is a serious thing. And I'm on the fan side of this. I don't know why. I guess Ciara was too wrapped up in the, you know, Victor and Xander business and the, you know, grabbing stuff out of the fireplace for her to call mom and be like, what's up? How are you? And all of a sudden, you know, Rafe is like Ciara's asking Rafe in the room while Ben is healing. She's like, yeah, so how is mom? Do you think that Rolf, blah, blah, blah. Like all of a sudden she out of nowhere is concerned. But what happened up until that point? That's something that I didn't really like. So I think that's why we went and aimed for the comedic aspect of the meeting with Princess Gina. It wasn't more like, because Ciara had skipped her devastation. Like that was behind the scenes, I guess. So at this point I had to come to terms with it. And Christian is just great at playing that character, man. I love her. I wish I had more scenes with Princess Gina because that could have been, because you know how stubborn Ciara is and how she doesn't take crap from nobody. Yeah. Princess Gina being in her mother's body but giving her crap, like that's interesting. So I remember just like staring at her like, and it was like looking at a whole new person. Like Christian did it so well that I truly believed she was not Hope anymore. Yeah. Like it was really wonderful. And Brandon, you know, playing Sean, like that was another moment too, where I'm like, hey brother, why have we not conversed about this? Why is this the first time we're talking about our mother with this microchip in her brain, you know? And
how he came in from Hong Kong and within 5 minutes was like, that woman's not my mother. And I'm like, she's been gallivanting around Salem for an entire year. And she has once said, what's wrong with Hope?
Right. What's wrong with her, mom? Like, that's insane. But you know, I guess Princess Gina acted as Hope for a long time. I think that's how she got away with it. And she just pretended to be Hope. And I guess she fooled Ciara for a year, which is also inconsistent because Ciara is like a little detective. Nothing gets past her. So
I feel like it would have been similar if Ciara had encountered Princess Hope as Princess Gina. She would have had the same reaction, Sean, and been like, something's wrong with her. Something ain't right. And there were people in Salem who were like, oh, she's kind of acting weird, or and just glossed over it for an entire year.
Right.
So yeah, it would have been interesting. It would have been interesting to see that more of that brother-sister dynamic between you two.
Yeah.
For sure. Yeah. I wish we had more time. Also, like, it's always just a pleasure to have those family moments because that family is so important in the history of Salem and the history of Days of Our Lives. Like it's the little Brady bunch. Like it's the three of us left, Hope, Sean, and Ciara. So it would have been nice to have more moments like that, but maybe we will in the future. Who knows?
Yeah. Well, we have some fan questions that we pulled from various social media platforms. And I'm just gonna pick them out at random. Natalie Bringar 94 on Instagram wants to know if you could play any role in a past movie, which would it be and why?
Hilary Swank's role in $1 Million Baby.
Ooh,
I want to play that role so bad. Just because boxing is a huge passion of mine. And fitness is a part of my life, and acting and fitness honestly are the two things that I'm most passionate about, music and dancing as well. But to be able to integrate those two things and to train for a couple of weeks to be this professional boxer, and then to be able to, throw myself into the role like that would be a dream. So anything fitness, like whether it be $1 Million Baby, or, a runner or something athletic, like I want to be a female hero. So
well, maybe they could do like Creed 3, but you're like Sylvester Stallone's daughter.
Oh, right? Or like Tomb Raider, the next one, but I'm Angelina Jolie's daughter.
What I was thinking. Totally.
Right?
Yeah,
Totally.
I can see that one too. Speaking of workouts, Sunflower 413 from Instagram wants to know, will you do another Instagram live workout?
Yes, I will. I'm actually planning on doing one tomorrow morning. I probably should tweet about this. I've been so bad with like technology, even though that's the only thing that we have during this quarantine. No, I am very close with this fitness company called Rebar Fitness. And they sent me this like at-home workout gym bar thing. But all the workouts that I'll be doing on it, you can do at home without it. It's just the bar adds extra resistance and extra weight. But we're planning on doing a live tomorrow at 12. And then I will definitely discuss doing another one with Sal, because Sal and we loved it. We, called each other the night before and we were like writing the workouts down. We printed it out. It was a whole big thing. And I actually reached out to Rob about it too. And he gave me that like boy answer where he's like, haha, so much fun. But he never like confirmed doing it with me. So maybe if you guys put him on blast and flame him, because I told him, I was like, okay, yeah, that's your like shady, like I'm not gonna do it answer. And he's like, no, V, I would love to do it. But that was 2 weeks ago and he hasn't spoken to me since. So maybe you guys can
oh, and if they tell them to, they're probably already, they've got their Twitter ready.
Tweet them and flame him, because I wanted to and I tried to plan it, but he was like, I don't know, maybe. Like, come on, Rob. I know you're not doing anything else. Like, don't play. So yeah, I would love to.
Someone had a Rob question.
He's gonna be so mad at me for putting him on blast like that. Oh well. I threw him under the bus.
Sometimes you gotta put folks on blast, because trust me, they're gonna take this video and they're gonna.
I don't tolerate fake shit. I don't tolerate it. Rob was being fake with me. I'm putting you on blast, Robert Scott Wilson. You're not being fake with me. Not today. No.
Not on today.
For the fans, like, come on, be real.
Lisa Chickman from Instagram wants to know, what's your favorite thing about working with Rob?
The fact that he and I have very similar approaches to acting. That's something that I noticed from the first day. And that's why I feel as though we had chemistry from the moment we met, because we're both like actors that just throw ourselves into the work. Super passionate about it, sees it as his craft and his life's work. And so do I. So that's my favorite thing about working with him. Hello?
While we have a break, is everyone frozen?
Okay.
I'm
or
here.
Tony might be frozen.
Tony's frozen.
Tony's frozen. I have a question though. While we're waiting. You posted some really cute photos of yourself with John Aniston. Yeah. And you guys shared a lot of scenes, especially after the time jump Ciara, he felt like, you know, Victor was kind of grooming Ciara to be, like you said, the next star of Titan. So describe when you go in to have a scene with John Aniston, who seems to be like a very big presence, but at the same time we hear that he's just a big teddy bear. So
yeah, it's so strange because his character is like this evil brick wall, right? Like he's just so like he's just grunting all the time, and like, you know, he's like this giant grizzly bear. But in reality, he's the biggest teddy. He's so sweet, and like, I don't know, my favorite country that I've ever visited is Greece, and he knows that, and I know some Grecian words, so he'll like speak to me in his native language sometimes, and that's fun. And he just, every time I see him, I do not exaggerate, I'm just like, John, hi, and I go and I praise him, and he's like like he laughs and he does this little giggle. He doesn't really like running lines prior to filming, just because I feel like he's busy and he has his own stuff to do, you know, like he trusts the process. But he's super passionate, super professional. I learn just by watching him. He's so still in all of his scenes, and he's the most powerful character on the show, so that just speaks volumes. Silence goes a long way in acting, so I absolutely love working with that man. He's such a teddy bear. I feel like he's my grandpa in real life, which is really cool.
That's sweet. Yeah,
And you know,
go ahead, Tam.
go ahead. No, I was just gonna say, after the time jump, your storyline with Xander, Paul Telfer, really took off. What was it like working with him?
Him too. He's actually he might be my favorite person to work with, just because we're both so playful. And Paul too, he's one of those guys where his character is so evil, but in real life, I can't find a person that's nicer than him. Like, he's just so sweet and genuine and funny and goofy, and like, he is also the kind of actor that just pours himself into the work. Like, I remember there was a scene where after I left, he like slammed his fist on the table, and I was there for that, and he like went for it. He bruised himself, he had to ice it and everything. Like, he just pours himself into it. And he's also the kind of actor where every take with him is different. Like, he'll never repeat himself, he'll never, you know, be stale and give us the same vibe. He always plays with it, and in turn that inspires me to play with it too. So whenever I get a scene with him, I feel like it's acting class almost. I'm like excited to see what he brings out in me, because when you act, you're nothing if you're alone, you know. It's all about reacting off of the person beside you. So you know, reacting off of him is great, and he challenges my acting chops, man. I love working with that man.
What did I miss?
Oh, nothing. Just talking about John Aniston and Paul Telfer, and how they're both incredible, and I love working with them.
Loved. Sorry, I missed that. Apparently, my computer and internet was just like
emoji.
like literally, I was like, oh, okay, well, fly back in. So let's see. We have sorry about that, y'all. Now I'm back. Paula from Twitter at hairgirl1031 wants to know, tell us about some of the bloopers during scenes with Rob. Have there been any? Because Lamone gives us some great behind-the-scenes bloopers.
Yeah, Lamone, I don't know how he gets them. Because we don't film the blooper. I mean, some of the bloopers, I don't know. It's most of the bloopers happen when we're doing physical stuff, because we just like start laughing. Yeah, I don't know. We bloop all the time. Yeah. I think Rob records when we're filming, he records it on his phone to like watch it afterwards and play it back. So he would have the bloopers. So again, ask him for a blooper compilation. Rob.
Another thing to put him on blast for.
He's gonna be on blast on everything.
I'm gonna get an angry phone call from him like, V. Sorry.
Sorry. Team Sin in the chat room is asking for Roe v. boxing challenge.
A Roe v. what?
boxing challenge.
Ooh.
Oh man.
Again, that's a Rob kind of thing. I have a bag in my backyard and I've been boxing every day. I don't think he wants to challenge me on that. Like, I make him small, but it might be a David and Goliath kind of situation because I've been training every day for like 2 hours in my backyard since this quarantine. So I'm ready. So
You know, one thing you post a lot of videos of working out, but the one thing I saw you do that I was just like, I would never want to be on her bad side. You were on a bag doing like sit-ups with your leg. I was like I was like, okay, she takes it. If I'm up against her, I admit I will concede right away. Yeah. So I don't think Rob would want to be on the receiving end.
yeah, I've also been training in Muay Thai, which is a fighting style that doesn't require gloves. It's more about using the opponent's weight against him. So that's also a leg up that I feel like I would have on Rob. Like, he's significantly larger than me, but I feel like I could use that against him. So bring it on. I'm ready.
Rise86 from Instagram wants to know, they're a Brooklynite as well. What were some of your favorite food spots in Brooklyn?
My favorite food spots in Brooklyn. Oh God. There's Corner Pizza that's in my hometown neighborhood. Corner spelled with a K. There's Grimaldi's, that's right by the Brooklyn Bridge. Dumbo is my favorite area of Brooklyn. So that's where I spend a lot of time there. I'll go to the Brooklyn Bridge and I'll just write music or write in my journal, listen to music at nighttime and eat my pizza. Fun fact, Grimaldi's is owned by a Polish family, not an Italian family. And I know some people that know them very well, so I never have to wait in the line. I just like hop on up there, because the line, if you're familiar, if you know, it goes around the block all the time, 24/7. It's like that kind of a place. But yeah, pizza spots and any Polish restaurant in Greenpoint or Williamsburg. Those are my little tastes of home. So yeah, just go to Greenpoint and pick a spot, and I've probably eaten there, and it's delicious.
Michelle from Twitter wants to know what's your playlist?
What's my what? It cut out.
Playlist. So when you're working out, what are you listening
to? I have it on my phone right here. I listen to a lot of like gangster rap, a lot of like 90s rap, a lot of G-Unit, 50 Cent, Eminem, of course. I'll listen to Latin music as well. I love me some Latin music. So I'll listen to that. I'll listen to Lloyd Banks. I'll listen to Joyner Lucas, Jesse Reyes, just like a bunch of like badass gangster people to make me feel badass and gangster and like continue with my workout.
Yeah. So there, I'm getting a chat that we have to wrap it up in a little.
No, I'm having so much fun.
I know.
Can we ask really quick how Olivia's doing?
Yes.
She's doing great. She's doing amazing. I mean, right now, obviously, she's quarantined, but she is in the process of filming High School Musical, the series, on Disney Plus. Yes. My girl's gonna be a star on Disney Channel. Like, I'm so excited. I miss Olivia so much, but we'll see each other soon enough.
Yeah.
Please give her our love.
Yeah, I will.
So if you could, without giving anything away, describe what's coming up for Ciara and Ben in one word.
Ooh.
What would it be?
I'm trying to think of the perfect word. I mean, I'm gonna say pendulum.
Ooh.
Up, and then it goes down, and then it goes up, and then it goes down. It's never just, paradise for these two. There's always trouble. So
no, it's never paradise for anyone in Salem.
Right. Why does anyone still live there? Move, people. God. Y'all are all so smart, but not smart enough to realize that this town is cursed.
I know, right?
Come on.
That's just like when Evan, when Brock's character came on and he was like, "Oh, I decided to move to Salem." We were all like, "Why on earth would you move to Salem?" Like, did you not Google Salem before you got here?
Right? Like, I'd rather live in Salem where they had the witch trials than this Salem. Like, damn, serious-ish. But yeah, I don't know. Salem's
Well,
crazy.
we are definitely looking forward to what's to come with Ciara and Ben. Like, I think the pairing of Ciara and Ben was one that we didn't see coming, but within 2 seconds, we were all for it. And like, we've been like, literally like melting the entire time. Like, the chemistry that you and Rob have is like so undeniable and so like amazing that like they're everything. Like, they completely slay. Like, they literally are the new Bo and Hope. Not to compare, but like, it really is like a reincarnation of Bo and Hope.
Man, that means so much. It's crazy.
Yeah.
I didn't expect it to take off like it did, and I'm still shocked at how important these characters and this specific pairing has become in the history of Days of Our Lives. Like, we're not just characters anymore. We're a staple couple. Like that.
Yeah.
That's insane.
Yeah.
And it's all because of you guys. It's all because of the fan reactions. You know, the writers listen to the feedback and you know, they obviously make decisions for themselves. And because we film so ahead of time, they can't really listen to the fan feedback. But like, it was evident to them that the fans were on board with Sin from day one. So they just kept writing and catering to it. They know how special it is, and we know how special it is. And I can't believe that we even created something so powerful. So I just wanted to.
What's really great about it, because I remember you and Rob saying in an interview that it wasn't like the behind the scenes people like had this idea and tested you guys together. It was just kind of like it was that day's script, you know, that you two, Ben was rescuing Ciara and taking her to a cabin. It just kind of all fell together organically, and I think that's what's really special about it.
Yeah. I don't think they had the idea. They wanted to see our chemistry first, but they didn't like test him for me because he was on the show before. So when they brought him back, and they brought him back for Ciara, we didn't know what was going to happen. We didn't know if he was going to try to kill her. We didn't know if he was going to be the bad guy again. But Albert, once he saw us, you know, vibing with each other from the get-go, like we're both from the East Coast, we both like immediately, we have the same energy. So like, they were like, okay, let's see what this couple has. Let's see what they can bring to the table. And we brought it. We brought you the steak, the mashed potatoes, and the portobello mushrooms.
And listen,
Truffle.
we have pulled up to the table to eat it all.
Get ready for dessert. Get ready for dessert.
Yeah. Well, Victoria, thank you so much for joining us. We appreciate you. We adore you. You are talented in so many ways, and you know that you completely slay my life. I tell you that all the time.
All the time. I love it.
I'm always sliding up in the DMs on a photo that she posted, and I'm like, girl, like, slayage. Like, if I could wear some of the outfits that you do, I would. I would come to your house with a garbage bag and take them all.
Thank you. You can. I don't know. I don't see why you couldn't. You could pull anything off.
Well, listen, we're two different sizes. I'm gonna need two of those, sew them together in order to make Thank you again. You're amazing, and thank you for all the work. And we can't wait to talk to you again. Before you go, before anyone goes, Michael Mattes.
Yeah.
Tell the folks where they can find you and cyberstalk you.
You can find me and Bimby here on my Insta at MLMattes, Insta and Twitter, actually. Say hi, Bimby.
And Chelsie Overocker.
Oh,
she got her dog too.
Tami had her pup too before. I saw that.
Chelsie, where can they find you?
You can find me on Instagram at Chelsie Overocker and on Twitter at Chelsie Overocker.
Tami Goveia.
Twitter, Tami Goveia, Instagram, Tami.Goveia, and I just joined TikTok.
Woo! Tammy, I saw that video of you having dinner with toilet papers. I fell out. That was hilarious. Victoria, where can they find you on the socials?
They can find me on Twitter and on Instagram. I'm just at Victoria Konefal, first and last name.
And your dog is amazing. That was someone should like screenshot that. That is so cute.
Look at her giving me her belly because she wants me to rub it. Hi, Belly. Hi, Belly. Look at how she matches my pillow. I can't find her half the time because she blends in.
And of course, you guys can find all of us on Dishin Days on Facebook and Instagram and _ Dishin Days on Twitter. And you can find Little Old Chocolate Me on all social media platforms at Lounging with Tony or my website, loungingwithtony.com. Victoria, thank you again for joining us.
Victoria.
Thank you for having me. It was so much fun. Hi, Pup Pup.
And thank you guys so much for tuning in. And we'll see you next week for another full recap of your favorite soap opera, Days of Our Lives. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Our founder, Kevin Undergaro, and me, Maria Menounos, would like to thank you for tuning in to AfterBuzz TV. Remember, we're not just the first, we're the biggest in the world, and we're the only destination for all your favorite TV shows. Whatever you crave, we've got it. So go to AfterBuzzTV.com and check out our lineup. Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.